on the boogie. Fantastic. Well, yesterday afternoon, at an event which seems to have been organised so that the government could seemingly lobby itself, Chris Grayling said that it would be a betrayal of the North and the Midlands to not carry on with HS2 in full, despite the fact that the former chair of HS2 Limited admitted this week that nobody knows how much it will end up costing. Well, I'd like to welcome now on the line Joe Rukin, who's the organiser of the Stop HS2 campaign, to talk about this. Hello, Joe. How are you doing?
Evening. You don't need me now. You've covered it all.
Not really.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So tell us about this event. Why did the government do this? I mean, what are they up to?
Well, no, this is the thing. This was basically organised, supposedly, by, business leaders and politicians from the North and the Midlands. And basically, it's George Osborne's lobbying club. The Northern Powerhouse Partnership, which is basically George Osborne saying, you know what, I'm going to turn my soundbite into reality for my mates that are going to make money out of it, basically. So what you've got is basically blanket press coverage yesterday. This idea that they were sending in a letter to the four main party leaders, so May, Corbyn, Sturgeon and Cable, to say they want them to guarantee that Phase 2B to Manchester and Leeds will definitely happen. And of course, the reason they've got to do this is because basically the whole thing is covering up for a massive cock-up that Chris Grayling made, where earlier in the year he said that, you're going to have to lobby to make sure that Phase 2B happens, because it's not a done deal, so you need to do the work to lobby for it. So that was this actually happening, that them doing the lobby, basically, Chris Grayling said, you're going to have to lobby me to make sure that this happens, and this was them doing it. And, the taxpayers, council taxpayers from up and down the land paid for it, along with the big businesses which are obviously going to make stack loads of money out of building the thing, which is what's been driving it from start to finish. But of course, behind, and the worst thing, before I go on, I mean, when you read the letter, it was just absolutely terrible, because, say, for example, at the moment, they're doing the archaeology, they're doing, rather cynically, just digressing on the archaeology, today, they said that they've found Matthew Flinders, who was the bloke who first circumnavigated Australia in the graveyard in Camden that they're digging out. And of course, because they are so desperate for some positive PR for that, they've all of a sudden, apparently, they've discovered him today on Australia Day, and had the press releases already and everything. Call me an old cynic, but I think they might have found him a little while ago, and all of a sudden, you know what, Australia's Day coming up, let's get the maximum publicity for it, and get all the money, basically get your money's worth out of finding Matthew Flinders, out of robbing him of his grave, and, tens of thousands of others. But anyway, when you read the letter that they've sent, HS2 have said that there's about 7,000 jobs being supported, whatever that means. HS2 is supporting 7,000 jobs. Well, how do you quantify that? How have you counted that? Well, basically we picked a number up the air, and that's across the country. But when you read the letter, they said, oh, that's not good enough. We'll say HS2 has created 7,000 jobs just in Birmingham. And this is the way that they change these things. But of course, as you said, the thing that got missed, basically, blanket press coverage of this, and you actually had a brilliant example of a tweet from a PR agency, because I was on BBC Breakfast yesterday morning, and they turned up, this PR agency, took the photo of the bloke from Northern Powerhouse Partnership and the woman from Mace, and they tweeted, great to secure our clients on BBC Breakfast this morning. And not surprisingly, someone said, what? Hang on. They paid you to go and try and dictate what the news is. And not surprisingly, that tweet was quickly deleted. And instead of secure, it was C. But that's the problem, is that there's so much money behind this. And all your media consultants and your lobbyists yesterday were in overdrive. And we paid for that,
Yeah.
Through the Leeds City Council or Manchester City Council, wherever. They've got fighting funds for HS2, and we've paid for communications firms to say, lobby the BBC to cover it, and other media organisations to cover it, and for politicians to effectively lobby themselves after Chris Grayling actually said, oh, you're going to have to lobby me. So they did. And we paid. But anyway...
It's enough to make you very cynical, isn't it, about the whole well,
Well, the worst thing is, as you said, that you've had all this coverage of what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
No one seems to have noticed what happened on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday, you had Terry Morgan, the former chair of HS2, in front of the Lord's Economic Affairs Committee down in Parliament.
Yeah.
And Morgan, it was the whole Terry Morgan thing was wonderful, because he was appointed last summer by Chris Grayling. He said he's world class, and then 4 months later, Financial Times ring him up and say, you do know you're being sacked. He says, you what? Because basically he's become the fall guy. He was a chair of Crossrail, and he's become the fall guy for that.
Yeah.
And what's happened with Crossrail is what's happening with HS2.
Budgets extended, and yeah.
Well, it's not so much that we know. They keep saying on time and on budget, and we know it's a lie. But with Crossrail, they kept lying and they kept lying right up until the point where it was impossible to lie anymore. Yeah. It became official that it was going to be a year late, a fortnight before it was due to open.
Yeah.
Right, and you've seen maybe the pictures, the famous picture of Bond Street Station, which is a building site, and this was meant to be opening this week. No, I don't think so, but it's a mess.
Yeah, it is a mess. It is a mess, and it continues to be a mess, is it not?
Absolutely, but the thing is, Morgan was set up as a fall guy, so he left HS2, but as a result, he's been a bit too honest. So the Lords asked him on Tuesday, well, how much is it going to cost? And his absolute answer was, nobody knows. And they said, well, surely you know. No, nobody knows. Yeah. And that's the worst thing about all these people saying, you've got to build it. Well, how much is it going to cost? Nobody knows. Who cares? Actually, that's the answer they want, because they want to make money out of it. So if people are officially saying that, it's probably going to go up, brilliant. That's what they want. And that's why yesterday was so irresponsible. Yeah. Because we want it's like a kid stamping his feet saying, I want my train set. I don't care what it costs. I don't care if you've got to get a second job for it, Dad. And that's effectively what you're doing. The whole thing about HS2, it's like the Waitrose of travel. Yeah. When everyone else is queued in Aldi, waiting for another till to open. Yeah. That's what this is. Morgan said loads of other things, because they've been worrying. One of the other stories that have been going around is, they might have to cut the number of trains, they might have to cut the speed of the trains. And, he said, I think a lot of people regret calling it high speed too, which is not, if that isn't saying that they're going to slow down the trains, I don't know what is. Yeah. And of course, having it designed for such high speed really jacks your costs up, and of course means that it impacts more communities, it impacts more habitats, it impacts more ancient woodlands, all that sort of stuff. It's got to go straight. Yeah. If you slow it down, you can't change those bits. All you're doing is just saving a bit of money on the track and the ballast. Yeah. But Morgan said, something has got to give it's cost, speed, or services, and the number of trains. Something's got to give. You can't have all those things. If you want the speed and you want the services, the cost has got to go up. If you want to keep the cost as it is, you're going to have to cut the number of trains. You're going to have to cut the speed that they're going as well.
Thanks, Joe. We've got to call a halt there, because we've just got somebody else on the line. So thank you very much for
sorry, I do go on when you get me started.
It's fine. So thanks ever so much for talking to us about that, and good luck with the campaign. Keep on keeping on. That's the main thing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Joe Rukin from the Stop HS2 campaign, talking about Chris Grayling's statement yesterday about HS2 and about the chaotic nature of the project.